Even though I'm not gonna be doing LGBT month this year unlike last year's, it's not gonna stop me from doing not only an episode review involving Wasting Hearts, but also comparing it to a Casagrandes episode that, thanks to some users from DeviantArt, gave me ideas on making more videos involving the Loud House vs. Casagrandes. And that episode is the Two of Clubs. If you ask me, with this being one of the first episodes of the Casagrandes spin-off, it's a perfect showcase of Sid and the relationship she has with Ryan. But keep in mind, Wasting Hearts is also the showcase of Sam Sharp and her relationship with Luna. And considering that relationship turned out to be a girlfriend and girlfriend lesbian relationship, this is gonna be a lot more complicated to top. But since this is a comparison video, let's go talk about the two episodes. In Wasting Hearts, Luna is thrilled to be on Royalwood's astonishing quest with Sam Sharp as her partner. In Two of the Clubs, Ryan and Sid need to find a school activity so they can have something in common. With these two episodes having highly similar plots and structures, there is not much I can say about the two episodes aside from the relationships of Sam and Luna in the Loud House, along with Ryan and Sid from the Casagrandes. Through the majority of two episodes, they try everything, and I mean everything, so that they can have something in common, but unfortunately, not a single one. For me personally, with these two episodes having the structure, it really makes sense, because sometimes when you try to make friends and you try to hang out more often, you need to find one activity that really suits for you and your friend to enjoy. But considering that Luna is having a difficult time on being partners with Sam, all the while that Ryan is doing the same for Sid in the Casagrandes episode, it really shows of how much people really like the pairing of these two. And I have to be really honest with you, upon watching the Two of the Clubs, I found it underrated at best, but after thinking about it, it really sums up a lot onto why Ryan is trying to make friends since that she's moved into the big city, while her old friend Lincoln is living. So it really feels like that Ryan is trying to suit in on being part of the big city, while Luna in Wasting Hearts desperately wants to make an impression in front of Sam while being partners. And in all honesty, in Wasting Hearts, Luna's situation is a lot more complicated, considering that she's been waiting for this day for a long time. The establishing quest in Royalwoods is something that people usually hang out in order to do some activities, mainly of how Luna is dealing with compared to Ryan in the Two of Clubs, regardless if it centers around school activities. This is way more bigger, and for me personally, it's a perfect demonstration of how much that Luna wanted to make this day one of the best days of her life. Though in the defense of the Casagrandes episode, even though that the school activities is less compared to the astonishing quest, I have to admit, if there was ever a similar structure where everyone are in partners and going on quests around Great Lake City, it would have been a lot more complicated because they will probably be lost. If you ask me, the fact that Great Lake City is supposed to be like New York City just sums up a lot onto why they decide to tone down on the partnership in a school rather than what they did in Wasting Hearts. Though then again, the only activity that these two episodes have were cooking, and for me personally, if that's literally the only way we're ever going to have similarities when it comes to the astonishing quest and the school activities, then this is literally the only way we're ever going to have that, when these activities are mainly about teamwork. And considering that these two episodes centers around teamwork at most, it really makes the development a lot more interesting, considering that they're gonna be much more closer with each other, instead of just thinking the negatives. In fact, these two episodes, thinking about the negatives, all the while not thinking about the most important positive of them all, is literally one of the occasions that really make these characters a lot more real compared to what I've witnessed in the later seasons. And when it comes to Sid and Sam being the main goals of Ryan and Luna, you have to admit that with them taking the spotlight in these episodes, you can tell that they're in the same scenario on just trying to be good friends or a girlfriend towards Ryan and Luna. And believe me when I say this, I felt like that Sam in Wasting Hearts did a good job into becoming friends and soon to be girlfriend with Luna, all the while that Sid is literally trying everything, but at the same time, she is the total opposite of Ryan. I mean, granted, Luna and Sam are familiar and similar when it comes to how they feel for each other, but when it comes to Sid, she is the total opposite of Ryan, even if Ryan is changing for the better. Like, the stages of what Ryan is going through in this season really sums up a lot on the fact that she's just trying to make things right for Sid at the end. And believe me when I say this, I felt like that if Sid wasn't part of the Casagrandes, then I'm pretty sure that Ryan's life would have been somewhat different, but not in a good way. People may complain that the spin-off, it has way too similarities of the Loud House, but I'm just gonna say this right now, if Sid wasn't included, then I'm pretty sure that Ryan's character wouldn't even progress. And the same thing applies to Luna, because in her future appearances without Sam, she would have been bland without an actual motivation to keep her life intact. Granted, it didn't change the fact that she was poorly executed in the taunting hour, all the while that most of her future episodes don't top her previous episodes, but to be honest with you, it's better on being better than average, or even bland, because whenever I think about the alternative universe of Luna starting a band without Sam, I can guarantee you that she would probably be the least interested Loud, and it would have been a huge missed opportunity. And if Luna ended up being paired with one of her band members in this episode, it would have been differently, considering that most of the band members don't really have a lot of screen time compared to Sam, and considering that Sam had the most attention from fans compared to the other band members, it really shows. You know, considering that there's a running gag of Loie having Lenny on a leash just to make sure that she doesn't leave her, it will probably been a huge problem for Luna if she ever paired up with Lenny, because as far as I'm concerned, Loie will probably have been paired up with Carol because it would have been a better alternative. So if we ended up having a focus episode involving Luna and Loie, and actually Luna and Lenny, it wouldn't even work out. Though then again, considering that if Ryan picked a different character rather than Sid, it would have been questionable. Not to say it's a bad thing, but at the same time, since that most of Ryan's friends appeared in City Slickers in the season 3 episode of The Loud House, it would probably been somewhat interesting, but at the same time, I'm not even sure if that type of relationship will work out, considering that Ryan's friends are a lot more different compared to Sid. So I guess the only thing that's left mentioning before we wrap things up is that Lynn Loud is banned from the quest because of the fact that she's been showboating and completely getting into everyone else's faces, which led to her being banned, so she was in disguise on being part of the quest again, only to be out of disguise. As much as I do not like Lynn in the later seasons and how her flannelization ruined her previous episodes, I have to admit, she is one of the highlights of this episode, and she was really entertaining and hilarious. Casagrandes, I know you're trying, but at the same time, your dominance in the audio videos has been slipped away, so I'm sorry, but I'm gonna give The Loud House another point. Which means that Racing Hearts is the superior episode over the 2 of Clubs, and this has nothing to do with LGBT representation just because we're in LGBT month. I'm giving Racing Hearts an 8.5 out of 10, while the Casagrandes, the 2 of Clubs, gets an 8 out of 10.